Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about two topics important to you because in the past few hours, so many of you become frustrated about how it kind of played out with the end of the first set of leaderboards for earning Picard shards and how the compensation chest, which you can kind of see behind me, has not been what most people wanted. Kind of feels underwhelming, and we're talking about both of those because even though yesterday we did a video talking about problems, today there's more problems. As always. Which I guess we got to talk about it. And we're changing up the format because randomly I'm standing on a green screen. Well, in front of one. It's over there. That's a green screen. And hopefully the neighbors don't get mad that I just knocked on their wall. Anyway, we're going to talk about with this first the compensation chest. Gotta get words out. Words are hard, kids. Here's their thoughts on it. First, we'll talk about what Scopely's opinion is on why this compensation chest includes what it does. You see 5 Picard shards for the new officer. Then you see Armada directives and rare directives. Not enough to launch for either one of them, but 175 epic and 120 rare. So here's the logic. The logic is that with the Picard shards, they're giving you 7th place to 100 place for free. So in the leaderboard that you have for this event, 7th place and greater for this 3-day event meant that you got 5 shards. So they're giving that for free. And they place an extreme amount of value on Jean-Luc Picard. And we've seen this as a theme. If you remember the away mission refresh tokens, those have extreme value. Apparently in your battle pass. A little bit less this time around, but last month it was insane how much value they placed in those. And they're doing the same thing with Picard. Now Picard also takes 180 shards to unlock, the most of any epic officer, and he's been described as another Pike. He's essentially Pike with a critical type bonus underneath in the officer's tool, which is great, but Pike is only 100 shards in the game, so 180 basically means he's 2 Pikes. At least worth-wise. And if we go by the Harry Mudd idea that, you know, it costs $400 to unlock Mudd if you were to buy him in the store, I'm assuming we're thinking that Jean-Luc Picard is at least double Mudd's. That's an $800 card. I feel like the value, and this is a theme for this next generation arc, the value that they're placing on certain items is so far superior to what players actually place value in. I don't really know anybody who, even though they like Picard as an officer, and nobody has him yet, they aren't placing this high level of value of this player is worth or this card is worth what we're being given. Yeah, in terms of a compensation chest, you know, when you're being compensated for a problem, and the problem was how the Armada scoring was not working at all, or working correctly for Rev 3, they corrected it, and then the points that you were to have accrued didn't accrue. So if you had spent 1,000 epic directives, well, you just lost those 1,000 and you never got those points back. Now, when they fixed it, any Armadas that you did past that point did work, but at that point, the damage was already done. You know, you either did get the points and win or you didn't, and now what you're being compensated is simply not that much. Now, so from their logic, you know, they're giving away what you see over here on the screen. They're giving 5 Picard shards, which obviously is very important. And I'll be honest, I think more people cared about the Avatar than they actually did Picard. I feel like that Picard has been hyped up into something so big, he's naturally devalued. Who actually wants to grind for 180 shards to one officer? And while I do want him, do I want him to a point where I'm going through crazy hoops? I'm personally not, and most of the players that I've talked about really want him, but they aren't willing to go through extremes to get him. It's just, it feels like the value's being placed so high, and you saw that in the compensation chest. And I feel like an issue that they've had is, it's a good issue, I guess, they've actually done really, really good with compensation chests lately. I feel like we have been compensated when there were problems in the game, and then we were able to feel like, hey, they heard our problems and they fixed it. Here are some examples of compensation chests just in the past like 2 months. Look at this massive level 36 compensation chest when they had an issue with the game going down on a Monday. You got all these con shards, all this loot, and even though individually all the stuff that you're getting here is not necessarily like super valuable, I mean, obviously the 100 salvage parts was so you could get TOS officers, so maybe that becomes TOS Kirk. You got uncommons, you got a dilithium, par steel, you had battle pass points. Now I know the battle pass didn't apply to this, but what's 18,000 battle pass points? You got uncommon tickets, you got a loyalty badge. You know, you got a lot of items that were in different areas that then made you feel like, okay, you missed a lot of time, or the things that you did not go to where you wanted it to. So here is value, as well as, you know, you got 8 con shards. So it felt like you were being compensated for your trouble and missing out on certain things. Didn't really feel that here. It all boils down to them putting extreme value on this one officer card that we don't agree is that valuable. Yes, he's really, really good. Even though we haven't got to test him yet, we can tell he's good because he has Pike's captain's ability. But is he that great when it takes 182 unlock and you just gave us 5? And once again, their logic is that this isn't a great officer and they're giving you 7th place for free. That was what happened in their mind. In my mind, I would rather have had more Armada directives and no officer shard. Like, just don't give me Picard, but load me up with epic and rare Armada directives. Give me something to actually get back in and participate in the game, and not this random consolation prize that nobody tries to win 7th place in the event. If they're trying to win 1st, 2nd, 3rd. They're not trying to win 54th to get 5 shards. So I feel like the understanding of compensation chests really differs this arc versus what it did just 2 months ago, which was to really help the players feel like the game cared and understood what they were going through. And I don't feel like that's there this time. And then the second problem with this event, scoring. Yeah, but result scoring. And what I mean by result scoring is ties. Yeah, you can even see a couple here on my screen. Now, this is an account that I did not score on, but take a look right here. You've got 2 players tied for 4th and 5th. You've had, we'll put up some screenshots. You can see players who had entire positions changed because there's ties in the game, and the game doesn't account for ties. If you tie and score, then somebody just arbitrarily becomes the loser in that tie. So tie goes to the runner, but God knows who was running here. And now you're sitting here getting less rewards for doing the exact same milestone. That also makes no sense. And they don't have a plan to fix that, I guess. I mean, that's obviously something that's an extreme issue, especially with this event. And maybe because it's one of the first times they've run this type of event that had so many people that tied up. But if we're talking about doing compensation chests, I feel like we need another compensation chest, because if me as a player, I scored 192,000 and then I scored 4th, 5th, and there's a difference between those rewards, then I should get those rewards. And instead, we had several players who end up falling out of certain brackets because of ties, and naturally they become very frustrated. You want to feel like you're rewarded for the time spent in the game, and with this being a mobile game, you spend more time here than almost any other game out there, let alone mobile, regular games. Like, if you go pop in Call of Duty right now and want to go play some Black Ops, you're not spending as much every day in terms of requirement as you do in this game to stay relevant, to stay active, and to really get things going. And with how they had the snafu of archiving an entire server, essentially, you kind of need to stay active like every second of every day. So you need to live here. And if I'm going to live here, I better have nice living accommodations. And it doesn't feel like that's what's going on right now in the game. This complaint fest is just gathering feedback from what all of you have said. You know, for me, I didn't even try and make it so because I knew I didn't really have a chance at my bracket. I think I ended up finishing like a rank 120 or something on my main server. You know, and that's whatever. But as far as the players, you know, you're getting very few people who actually feel like the compensation chest helped them out, and then you have frustrations mounting because if they did participate and they did try, now they're being punished almost because there's no mechanic in the game to sort time. So if you tied for 4th, well, somebody randomly becomes 5th and there's nothing you can do about it. And if you lose a reward for that, well, it just sucks to be you. And I don't want a game to ever make you feel like it sucks to be you. The whole point of a game is to make you feel better, to help you escape from the reality of the horrible world that we tend to live in at times. Or maybe your world's great and you're just bored. I don't care. The point of a game is to bring enjoyment to your life. And if you feel like you're getting screwed or messed up, you obviously are not feeling those feelings. So those are the thoughts for today's thing, and hopefully those are things that we can get changed. Now, I can tell you that with the scoring issue in terms of ties, I did talk to the devs this morning about that, and that is something they're going to review. I'm not trying to do the whole quotation thing as like they don't care. I just, you know, we'll see if anything happens because of it. I don't know if they've ever had a scoring bracket but across the servers that resulted in so many of these conflicts actually happening. So I feel like they have to address it, and hopefully they will. As far as the compensation chest, I don't know what to expect, because I felt like Compensation Chest had finally gotten to a point where they understood the players and what players value. And then these past 2 months, in terms of Battle Pass 1 and 2 for the next generation, I feel like they've completely just like lost the plot when it comes to what players value in game. So we'll see what that does moving forward. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, as always, because we need your thoughts and your opinions so that we can pass those along to the dev team, hopefully resulting in better game. Rainbows, gumdrops, honeysuckles, whatever. Y'all are awesome. Live long and prosper. Stay safe out there, Space Cowboys. We'll catch you on the next one.
An even better outro than the intro. Yeah!